Smooth. Yeah.
Sup, everyone? Hey. So Lynn and Joanna, I've got a question for you because I understand that you just came from the master class. You have been very busy ladies today. So give me the visual. Are you here? Are you pooped?
Kind of pooped.
Okay, yeah.
But you are so committed. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. And you viewers, you may notice that we have a new or a different webinar host tonight because our dear Carrie is off. And so thank you, Shelley, for filling in for her very capable hands that we're in. And actually, the reason we're late, we're so sorry. I know that's distressing for folks when they're looking for it and we're not there yet. That there's this lady named Teepa Snow. Has anybody heard of her? Anybody on the screen you heard of her? Oh yeah. So we're actually on her YouTube or her webinar account, and she was also on it. Guess what? She trumps us. So we're sorry we're late, and I'm wearing my gem shirt because one thing we're going to talk about the conference today, and also we have an amazing set of gems on the screen before you. So Shelley, I'm wondering if you want to give us some primo cutting edge only for people who are with us live. Ooh, yeah. Secrets.
I do have some secrets that we have a coupon code so that anybody who watches us tonight can save 20% on their ticket to the conference if they haven't registered already. So we will put that coupon in the comments, the coupon code. And I'll also put a link to the conference tickets. So you can go buy your tickets today because it's only about 3 weeks away, but you have 2 weeks to buy your tickets.
It's crazy. It is on our heels. And Shelley and I are on the conference committee. And so it's kind of like our baby and our passion. So we're just constantly telling you updated stuff. And we haven't talked a lot publicly about these self-care breaks. So before we have Dana and Amanda come on, I wanted to just talk about that for a second because feedback that we got last year, and Shelley worked hard on the conference last year. I was kind of riding along as a participant, but this year got pulled in to help, and it's been awesome. But a piece of information, Shelley, that you guys received from participants was, it was a long time to be in front of the camera. Even though, but this is tricky because I feel like as a professional, I want to make it really valuable of people's time to come. And so want to give that meat and potatoes, that really, good content, not just light surface stuff. But at the same time, sometimes we need a second to decompress. And so what we have for you in store this year is each day there will be 2 longer breaks. So let me ask you guys, and you can unmute yourselves. And Amanda, if you want to come on, because I'm yapping too long. What do you like to do on a break at a conference? What do you like to do?
I like to move around.
You like to move around? Absolutely.
Get up off my tush and do something.
Yes. Get up off that tush. Dana, how about you?
I think it depends for me. So sometimes I like to talk to other people and share what I'm learning and kind of learn from them. But sometimes I really need a break from other people and I want to go away.
Ooh, boom. So there's no one size fits all, right?
I have kind of like I get full of people and I need a little break sometimes. I love
that. Never happens to this very strong introvert right here. How about you, Joanna and Amanda and Shelley? What do you like to do on a break? I mean, let's talk about those 5 unmet needs that Teepa teaches us about. Hunger and thirst, energy up, energy out. Ooh, elimination, physical comfort. Oh, I might need to get up and change the temperature in my house because it's not the right temperature. And then that last one, what is that?
Pain.
I need to address pain. So Joanna, what do you think?
Yeah, what I was going to say is I like to exercise or stretch. So
I was
not
gonna
just
say,
get up and move. I wanna do something with my body.
Stretch and move your body. And Amanda, you were on the same kind of path.
yes, and if I'm gonna be at home, it's usually let the dogs out and check on everybody in the family as well to keep them all at a comfort level so that I can enjoy the conference.
Yes, so that managing other individuals or animals' unmet needs too.
Yes.
Joanna, anything you want to add to what you might do during a break?
Yes, well, this will be my first conference. But when we took a break after masterclass today, Lynn and I don't know how Lynn spent her 2 hours, but I took a bath. So,
Boom.
you know, that not with anyone else. So kind of like Dana, I like to, I'm sorry, this is what happens when, okay.
Yes.
This is a PG show.
Well, last
took my
time we
bath.
talked about adult coloring books, and now we're talking, okay, so yes,
I
a
take a
nice
bath,
relaxing bath. So you
or-
found what gets you zen.
And also, if I didn't have a bath nearby, I just would need to sequester myself to have that alone time to just process and recharge and maybe think about what came in and think about what might be going out in the next segment.
Yeah.
So if
So when
that makes
Shelley's
sense.
given a strong visual, maybe cuddle with someone
Mhm.
or something.
Yes.
So what we're doing this year, and you guys, I'm just so excited because we have got our certified community that has just stepped up with all these amazing talents, and our PAC team who have all these hidden talents that I didn't even know they had. And during each of the larger breaks, if it's a 15-minute break, you got to meet those 5 immediate unmet needs, right? But if it's a longer break, we are going to have a smorgasbord. Is that a word? A poo-poo platter, if you will, of options of how you can spend that 30 minutes. If you just totally want to check off and get off your computer, check out, get off your computer, great. If you would like to do a yoga class with someone, or brain teasers, or a Zen tangle, which is, like, what did she call it? Meaningful doodling, I think.
Yes.
Purposeful doodling.
Purposeful doodling, yes.
Purposeful doodling. So we're going to have all these options in the larger breaks. So you go meet your unmet needs first, and then come and do some guided facilitation if you want to. Or hey, keep that computer off if you want to do that as well. So more to come on that. We're going to be publishing those in November, what the options are, so you can plan ahead. Yeah. And there may be one, Cheryl, if you're watching, I think you said you were going to watch tonight. Joanna's friend Cheryl said that one of her pieces, hey Cheryl, if you're there, say hi. She's going to do a piece of, oh shoot, what did she call it? I think it was chocolate meditation. Chocolate
meditation?
something, I can't remember, but you will need to bring chocolate to that breakout. So go ahead and purchase that for conference. So I'm yapping about this year's conference because I'm super excited, but you know what? Our gems that are on tonight, Amanda and Dana, this is not your first rodeo. In fact, you've been a part of PAC for quite a while. I think you've been to every conference that PAC's offered, haven't you? So the first 2 that were live in North Carolina, I know you were at the second one because I know
The first one was live. The second one was virtual.
Yes.
I'm dreaming that that's not the case.
I know.
I feel like I was with them at 2 conferences, Shelley. Thank you for correcting me.
Sorry.
Okay. But we were there together virtually. But Amanda and Dana, they're going to tell you about themselves and the great work that they're doing. These ladies have been around the PACiverse for quite a while. So Dana Thompson, Amanda Mosier, welcome to Straight Up Positive. We can't wait to shine a bright light on you. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do, what you're up to these days, and it's a lot. So everyone fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be really great that we made a PowerPoint to keep us on track, because we really need that. We get so excited about talking about everything we love to do. And we definitely love our PAC family. So I think Dana has that PowerPoint. She'll be able to bring.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and share that now. But for those of you that don't know Amanda and I, we are located in Bloomington, Indiana, which is the home of Indiana University. And that is actually where we met Rebecca when she was living here briefly. We somehow came across her name and thought, wait, there's another PAC person here in town. We need to know this girl.
Yes.
And she hasn't been able to shake us since. I have been certified as a PAC trainer since 2016, I think, shortly before Amanda came on to work with me. And as soon as she came on, I said, oh, guess what? Here's what you're going to do. And so I pulled her quickly into the PAC family, and it's been a really good fit for us because we are, I think, straight up positive in what we do. We want to focus on strengths and changes along with the challenges of living with dementia to support our clients to live well. So we're not going to go in depth into what we do, but wanted to give you guys a broad overview about what our work is so that you can ask us questions and maybe share your ideas with us as well. So first,
actually, if
to
you
share
told
this
us
picture.
every single thing you did, Dana, this would be a 3-hour show.
Right.
Right.
I wanted to share this picture first. This was at last year's conference, and if you can see our little purple fedoras, the ribbon around it says be a detective and not a judge, and it has a peacock feather sticking out of it. So even though we were virtual, our team came prepared, and we had a great time at that conference last year.
Yes, we did.
So our services are actually based in the community health department of our local hospital. We are free service to everyone in South Central Indiana that wants to utilize our services. So all of these counties that are highlighted in red are counties that we provide services, outreach, and support to. Just to give you an idea of what that looks like for us, some of those counties are very rural and some of them are a little more populated. So these are the estimated rates of people living with dementia within our counties. So potential partners for us out there. All of our services are provided at no cost, as I mentioned, which is really, really important to us because a lot of our clients are on limited incomes or might have a lot of other hospital bills and things like that. And we don't want to create that as a barrier to people seeking our services and being able to partner with us to move forward. So we do receive most of our support from the hospital, but we also have a lot of private donations through our hospital foundation. We have a lot of grant funding that we write for, things like that, that support our services as well.
And I like to always say that telling people that our services are free is one of my favorite parts of the job because it leaves no barriers so that they can get the help they need.
You know what, Amanda, that's exactly what I was going to highlight to you is just what a gift that you can say, everything we do, no cost to you.
Yes. And that's true for everyone we serve. So not just people living with dementia and their families, although that of course is the core of what we do, but also professionals that we work with. And so that is kind of a rare thing to be able to go in and support professional care partners because it's part of what we do and it's part of that big picture of helping people to live well. So we are very lucky that although Amanda has been a PAC trainer for a while, she also went back and got her coach certification as well. And so we are able to stretch the PAC trainings and teachings and philosophies and things like that even further through that skill set too. I'm going to turn it over to her because this is one of the couple of programs that we really want to highlight for you that we utilize our PAC skills to provide for our community.
Yeah, so I am going to give you the simple version of what our Dementia Friendly Care Partner Development Program is. We had started this when I first came on because we knew there were a lot of people out there struggling to help others who were living with dementia in care settings. We also knew there were not enough caregivers, professional care partners in in our community as well. So we decided, hey, we're going to create a dementia education component to add to our home health aid and CNA programs of the state of Indiana. And so what that wound up looking like is we partnered with a lot of people in our community. And boy, I tell you what, everyone was so excited to jump on board because it was such a great need. So what that really looks like is 20 hours of dementia specific training, and included in that is all the PAC information. So we really get to dive into that and learn a lot of those positive ways to approach and care. From there, students can get another 20 hours of dementia education and complete a certification through our local community college. And when I'm talking about students, I'm talking about high school students as well as adult learners. And I'm also talking about those, we are a college town. So at IU, we also are offering these classes to pre-med students as well. So they get a feel for what this looks like in real time, rather than skipping over that and going right into their licensure and becoming a medical professional without doing any hands-on. So it's been really great. We've had so much positive feedback, and we've found that the students are actually saying, like, this is my favorite part of school. Like this is my favorite part of all these things, and how every time it blows our minds away, like everything that comes out of their mouths, we're like, oh my gosh, they're getting it. They're realizing that this positive approach really does work. And we really dive into connections. So really connecting with someone who is living with dementia throughout. So here you can see on the screen, we have so many high school students who are really learning different things and connection, also learning a lot of the hand under hand as well. So it's just been a really great experience all across South Central Indiana, and it continues to spread. But we absolutely love it. And Tipa came to Indiana, and she came and worked with the state as well to add some of these components into our CNA program. So it really coupled very well together that our entire state wants to see changes in approaches to care. So
yeah, and one of the major reasons why we structured this program the way that we did it was that we didn't want to just get hot bodies into these jobs. We wanted to get people who had a passion for this and who really could make those connections within the care that they are bringing to people living with dementia. So we have it structured as kind of a filter. So within the high schools, all of the health sciences students takes the 20 hours of dementia training, which includes workshop A, B, and C in there. So all the pack, they get it all. And if they want to, they can go on to home health, but they don't have to. And we figure that if they choose that at that point, that's a much better point to choose it than after they're in someone's home, they're building that relationship, and then they're suddenly gone. And they still have that information. So if they need it for somebody in their family or something, it's still good for them to have in their pocket. If they go through the home health aid and would like to go on to the CNA from there, then they can. So we kind of use it as a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm. And I also like to point out that what Dana and I have learned over the years of implementing this in the high schools, we often go in asking the question, do you know someone who is living with dementia? And boy, are we surprised every time to see several hands fly up and say, yes, I do. My grandparents are, and actually quite often in almost every class we hear, I'm helping take care of my parent that is living with dementia. So that tells you how prevalent it really is. And when we go through this, it's that light bulb that's like, oh, I know how to connect with my own relative now in a better way than I had before. So.
Yeah, it seems like there's so many levels, you guys. Like, we always talk about the onion and PAC and how there's multiple levels. And so you're not only helping people in their family life, but also their professional life, but also not just helping people who are living with dementia right now, but man, you are creating a whole new generation of care partners who have skills.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And we always say to these students, whatever level they're at, you guys are the ones changing the face of healthcare, of dementia care. You know, you are the ones who are going to make a difference in what people think about, you know, getting help, getting long-term care. And
Hey,
our goal is
Dana?
to train them
Oh.
all to take care of us.
Amanda and Dana, I was new to PAC this year, and I know what it's done for me living with Alzheimer's and just my regular life, how it's really helped me. I'm curious how you learned about TIPA Snow and PAC, and this is kind of a multifaceted question, I suppose. And do you have anyone living with dementia that's on the side of your training, not receiving care, but that's a trainer like Lynn and I are for the PAC team?
Yeah. So I first learned about TIPA when I saw her at the, I'm going to forget what it's called, the Midwest Conference on Aging, I think is what it's called. It happens in Evansville every year, which is about 3 hours from us. And I still have the notebook I took. Everything she said, I was like writing like crazy. And I was just thinking, this lady gets it, right? She's speaking my language and I want to know more about this. And so I researched her and I took everything to my boss and I said, I need to train with these people. I need to do this. So Amanda, I know, knew about her, but I was the one that said, you're doing this when she came on. So
Yeah,
that
it was
to me was
very
like a
exciting.
no-brainer. Yeah.
And to your other question, we don't have anyone who has went through the training that is living with any kind of dementia. However, we have a whole group here called the Community Dementia Alliance, and they are people who are living with dementia and or have been care partners or are care partners of someone who's living with dementia. And they really guide us in what we need to do. So instead of us just deciding we're the professionals in all of this and the experts in this, we go to them each time. We also ask them, so many times they're ready to volunteer and be involved, talk to the students, and many different aspects, because we also, not only do we work in this care, the care partner development program, but we also work with our university. And so we have, worked with our police cadets and the nursing classes and the social work classes and many other classes. And we usually bring those people who are living with dementia to be able to speak about what they are experiencing and what they would like to see their community do to help support them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's cool because one of the things that Lynn often shares about is her viewpoint of how we teach vision changes, and really from Lynn's perspective, living with FTD, I think vision changes is one of the biggest things that PAC trainers teach, that have those aha moments, those really awesome aha moments. And I think it takes it to the next level to hear Lynn saying, well, so I heard it and I thought it was this, but it's this for me. And Lynn, I'm wondering, because you haven't stopped at these original classes. You said you were on master class today. Is there anything that you've learned in the last couple of weeks that you could share with us about a real personal experience, in addition to what you've shared about vision?
Well, with the masterclass today, we talked about an olfactory change. My husband and I were at Disney World recently. I was driving my little scooter and I was backing up, beep, 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 and doing my little thing. And coming out around the corner inside of in the hotel we were staying in, there was a really strong smell of oysters. I am not a seafood girl, so I just tolerated it and kept on going. And my husband said, "Oh, do you smell that?" And he loves seafood. So I said, "Yes, I do. Ooh, oysters." And he said, "No, that's steak." I said, steak? And I was telling Teepa this story, and she said, I think you were smelling something that said to you, get out of here. This is bad. I'm stressed. I don't want to be here. I want to be away from this. Get out of here. Where to him, he was smelling what perhaps was the real smell. He was not stressed. He was having a pleasurable moment. But my brain was taking this into a stressful, unhappy, not pleasurable, turned it into something that was evil. And we were discussing that, whether that was kind of a delusional experience. And she was tying it into that my brain went to this primitive experience of get me out of here. I'm unhappy. I don't want to be here. Move, get away. And that's how she was interpreting this in the class today.
That's really cool. That, yeah, so those all olfactory changes as well, and then how connected that is to, what am I doing here, guys? Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Amygdala.
Ooh, amygdala. And Amanda and Dana, I know you've never seen amygdala responses. You've never had any personally. I mean,
I
don't know
haven't
about
had them. I haven't seen them.
No, especially that first time that you came to a PAC certification and you were drinking water from a water or fire hose, and you were like, oh, this is so much, I can't take it all in. Ooh, that was for me. What was your first certification and how was it for you?
Oh, it was a lot of information. And I was like, I just need some time and space to really absorb all of that. But then I was so excited about it too, because I'm like, I'm going to use these skills. I can't wait to use these skills. And then the second day came along and it was all about, learning how to teach this and how to connect with your audience and, how they might perceive what you are teaching to them. And I'm like, this is so needed. Like, it's so necessary. Most people don't do that. So yes, it was like mind blown. Yes.
Yeah, for me, it was that immediate overwhelm and like, oh my gosh, I can't even process all of this information. But then when I came back, I was like, oh man, I want to teach everybody all this right now. Right. So learning how to do that in little pieces that people can digest so that they don't feel overwhelmed too. But I think the PAC skills that our clients have learned from us, so both people living with dementia and care partners, what I particularly like about it is that it's very empowering. Mm-hmm. Once we know what's happening with our brains, we can go, oh, that's why I was panicking and thinking I smelled oysters, right? Understanding those changes and being able to have an explanation for that, then I can say, all right, well, how do I respond to that, right? Then it's up to me. It's not just something happening to me anymore. And I think that's a really cool and unique thing about PAC.
So I heard the word teach and train when you came back. And so trainer, I'm guessing, was your first certification, but then you mentioned that Amanda has actually gone on to do coach as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I found that very interesting. So that shift and change and being able to work with our other trainers, because we have a couple others who are on board with us, and just asking them and their perception and how they feel like they're doing and those positive things that they feel like they're actually getting out there and what they want to work on. So it's a little bit intimidating to me still, and I'm still working on my own skills to be a coach. But it's empowering at the same time that I can help support other trainers.
Yeah, for sure. So supporting trainers, and that's for our viewers who haven't been to a certification course, and Lynn and Joanna are a vital part of our courses, and we certainly appreciate all that they offer. Just to kind of overview in a second, I'd love to hear from you, Amanda, having done both. I think of trainer as more of this general awareness, right? And I kept doing this while you were talking, with coach being that skill piece, putting that awareness into skills. How would you describe the difference between the two certifications, and why would you need both?
Yeah, so I think that it's when you are getting that awareness out there, because it's not just your own awareness when you go through the become a trainer, you're also offering that to the people that you're working with. And they really need to know that. So it's that first step, right? But then when you become a coach and you are working on those actual skills with those individuals, especially those students in our classes, it's just amazing to see the light bulbs turn on. And then working with other trainers. Now, Dana is like, she's been doing it longer than me. So it's kind of, a little iffy with her, me being a coach, but her being a trainer at the same time. And so it's really good for us to collaborate on what it is that we feel like we could do better to help teach these skills and ingrain them in the people that we're working with. So it's, the pandemic has slowed us down from being able to really work with our community population as much as we would like to. However, it has not slowed us down with working with our students because the need is so great to become caregivers and professional caregivers right now. Anybody in healthcare, it's like, we're still pushing through and using all the precautions we can. So we've still been able to get a lot of that skill passed along to these students, which has been amazing because we were worried we weren't going to be able to do this. And then we all have to go back and feel like we're relearning our own skills as well. So it's a good awareness of self.
Oh, sorry. I was talking for like 8 minutes. Sorry. No, just kidding. Just felt like that. I just think you ladies are just totally awesome. And I was just in LaPorte, Indiana a couple of weeks ago. Is that anywhere near Bloomington?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, next time I'm in Indiana, I'm going to find you. So I just wanted to say, I know how excited I am to attend my first PAC conference and the gems and be a part of the presentations. And something I heard or I saw on the PowerPoint earlier from you ladies was that this is not just, this isn't just about helping people who are living with dementia. This is about everyone involved in this world. If you're a family member, if you're a care partner, if you're working in the field. And that's something that I'm so excited about. I've been just constantly, every time I see anyone anywhere in the park walking the dog or anywhere, I'm constantly talking about PAC because I think it doesn't matter, who you are. I think there is something literally for everyone. And one thing that I really liked about what you guys said that I like about TIPA and our PAC team is that there's so much out there on the internet for people to go find. Oh, this is how you talk to somebody with Alzheimer's or Lewy body or FTD. But there's so much more going on with the PAC team about caring for the care partners and caring for the family members, that it excited me because I'm able to start to feel like I'm 50-50 with my care partner, who is my spouse. I'm able to share some of that stuff with him, and while I can still communicate, and so that's just, I know I'm just kind of going on and on, but I'm so excited about this GEMS conference, and I'm so excited about so many things with PAC, and it just sounds like you guys are just right in line there. Are you just so excited about this conference?
Mm-hmm.
We are always excited to do stuff with PAC.
Like, is there something for everybody? Literally, I don't care who you are. There's something for everybody. You've got to show up.
Yes, we are, Rebecca. I always say, like, anybody that comes into contact with us will drink the PAC Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Whether you think so or not, when you meet us, like, we'll bring up Tipa's name and people are like, okay, we know.
You told us. Yeah, you told us about her. Oh, well, let me tell you again. So, Joanna, you brought up a great point. You were saying that it's so much more than just the trainers and what we're doing for coaches, but it's that broader outlook. And we often we work with our Dementia Friendly groups here in the state of Indiana, and I'm the Dementia Friendly liaison for Indiana. And so we really want it to be dementia inclusive and capable at some point, but we are still at that stage of working on dementia friendly. I think that our Bloomington community is really beginning to become a capable community. However, the state is not there quite yet. But, that really involves everyone. It doesn't matter what level you are, where you're at. All these organizations, all these community partners, we're all in it for supporting people who are living with dementia and their care partners. I mean, we're trying to create that village, right? That needs to be there for everyone. We need to be a community that includes. So.
And I'm thinking about something that that Lynn said a couple of weeks ago. And I'm curious, Lynn, when you hear them talking about this idea of a dementia friendly community, dementia capable, dementia different, Lynn, you had mentioned that you tend to stay home more these days than you used to. Am I remembering that right?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
I'm wondering, is that something that might be different if you felt like your community was more dementia friendly, or is that home is just really safer for you, even if it was the best dementia friendly or capable community?
There's too much explaining to do in the community. So I can't quite envision what a different community would be like. I guess it would be neat to try it.
You're constantly excusing yourself. Like, can you help me find this? I'm sorry. I, have a brain injury or however much you want to
And I
divulge.
I say all the time, I can't hear you. That's not what I mean, because it's not that I can't hear the person. It's that I can't process what the person is telling me fast enough.
Yeah. Well, and isn't it interesting, Lynn, that if we were training more people to consider the rate of their speech and to pause and to use visuals, that you may not have to ever say that in the first place. We when we do trainings with businesses in our community, almost inevitably the people taking the training will say, well, this is just good service, right? We should be doing this for everyone. And we're like, That's the point, is that these are things that are helpful, but will help you connect with others too. And I truly think that if we could become more dementia friendly, we're going to be helping more than just people living with dementia.
Right.
It's such a great point. It's like my old co-host, who, if you're watching, Matthew, we miss you and say hi. He used to use the Frank's hot sauce. You can put that on everything. And he said with PAC, you can use it with everything.
Yeah.
I'm wondering though, because it's so broad, I'm curious, ladies, gosh, you're doing so much stuff. And I kind of saw your faces. I'm curious, maybe we can chat after, your faces when Lynn was talking, just kind of like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't even want to go out because there's so much explaining and blah, blah. And it's just, wow. Thank you, Lynn, because that was something that I needed to hear. And I'm wondering for you, we talk often on Straight Up Positive, there was pre-PAC for you, and you were already doing amazing work. You both were. I know your histories. I know your stories. You were doing amazing work. And then there was post-PAC. And I'm curious, what awareness and skills would you say have the biggest impact on your practice?
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a loaded question. You want to go ahead, Dana?
Well, I was just going to say that, my background is in mental health. I'm a mental health counselor, and I always knew this wasn't like the exact fit. It was close, but I wasn't really in the zone. And prior to PAC for me, it was about information and resources, right? Emotions, those kinds of things. After PAC, it was about connection and relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And how vital that is to all that other stuff.
So pre-pack, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you, because it took me a second, and I'm a processor. So information and resources. And we were really good at, here, do this, take this information and run with it. And then after, it was more about relationship, and what was the other word?
Connection.
Connection, yeah. So I'm curious, and I just want to pause before Amanda answers that. Lynn and Joanna, what does that sound like for you if you were on the receiving end of, okay, I'm reaching out for support and someone offers you information and resources versus ways to connect and really be, like Joanna said, man, this is a partnership between you and your husband. This is not caregiving. This is a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah.
Warm, yes. I love how you did that.
The other one is cold.
Mm-hmm.
And one is like my picnic table and park bench analogy. One is, here's the circle of the giver and the circle of the receiver. Okay, pre-pack, and then post-pack, it's like we're on the park bench sitting next to each other now. We're together in this. And how else can you see it from someone else's perspective, whether they're living with dementia or not, if you're not in there with them? Yeah, I mean, how is that possible? So that's great. I just think that's awesome that you ladies are doing that.
So Amanda, how would you verbalize it? Because that was pretty cool right there with Dana. How would you verbalize how PAC awareness and skills have impacted your practice?
Well, I think I would have to kind of give a background of where it came from before I came on board at IU Health and working with Dana. And before that, I was actually working in the nursing homes, in the facilities. And I was the one working on training our staff and helping them to have relationships. And my core, was relationships, but I didn't have, these tools that TIPA has given us through PAC. And it felt like I was kind of beating my head against the wall of, let's take a step back and try and look through the perspective of the person who is living with this disease and who is in this facility, and how you're treating them and how you're relating to them. And it was just so hard to get that concept through to my staff, my CNAs, my home health aides, my nurses, my administration, it was really hard to bring that concept to them. And, I always had that passion of that connection and relationship from the very beginning. It was the most important thing. But then, post-PAC, I was like, hey, now I have the words and the tools to put this into play. Now I have a way to show people and help them learn, but also, embrace it, drink the Kool-Aid, right? To take this back and actually use it. And now I can coach them as well, so that it continues to develop and grow and that they don't lose it right away.
So Amanda, when you're talking, I had this visual as you were talking about taking this knowledge and pushing it, and I don't know if you use the word pushing it, but that's the word that I was thinking of, like giving it to it, and why aren't they getting it versus what you said the second time after PAC was they learn with you.
Yes.
So versus me being this teacher and teller and telling you all these things, now we're setting up this experience and we're learning together.
Mhm.
And I will
Yes.
just say about Amanda too, that I think she is in part a naturalistic learner. So I think she's just a person that has this in her core. This is who she is. And so I think for her to then have to train people who that maybe isn't a part of who they are, they don't naturally see it that way, I think probably was hard for her at first. And then when she got that language, it was like, okay, now I can help them see what I see. And so
Mhm.
she's,
Yeah, it was heartbreaking sometimes. To see, you know, I had all of this connection and love and working with all these wonderful people that came into my life and just wanted to make their lives better, make them smile, you know, have a good time and, you know, use what we have to make them feel better, but I couldn't put it in the words that I needed. So it's been really great to you know, post-PAC to have all these skills and coaching and continuous follow-up every year. Like I'm working on this and I'm working on that now, and I'm going to keep trying to improve in this area and in that area. So it's been good for me to have that accountability as well.
Yeah, and I think when you were talking about learning styles, and Amanda, or excuse me, Dana brought that up, this naturalistic learner, and it made me think about when, a couple of, or 2 episodes of SUP ago, when we had Juan Carlos on, you know, and he talked about that as well. He was naturally really good at this, and yet now he needed skills to actually teach it to someone else, because just being good at it isn't the same as being able to teach it to someone else, right?
Yes.
totally true.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that Joanna is thinking of another thing she might want to ask.
Well, I was thinking about, I don't know, I think it might have been Amanda, but it could have been Dana, because now I've combined you as
People
this
do that with us.
dynamic duo. You know, I'm like Lynn. I mean, I'm a young person that got dementia. I got it at 48, Alzheimer's disease. I'm 53 now. And I can tell you that I don't think I would have gone into the dementia community on purpose willingly had I not been diagnosed and wanted to find out how, you know, this is self-preservation. How do I make this best new life possible for me? I had a history kind of like Dana. I have a PhD in psychology, and I kind of that really didn't help me when my life changed. But I wonder, Amanda and Dana, Amanda, I think you were talking about just struggling with kind of getting your staff on board and getting the administration. If everyone thought, which is kind of impossible in a way, but if you could think about, you don't know that you're not going to get dementia. You don't know what's going to happen in your future. You have no crystal ball. None of us do. I can bet that Lynn and I would both tell you, I certainly didn't think this was going to happen to me. You know, I really didn't think it was going to happen. I used my brain. I ate good. I exercised. I did all the stuff. But like, this is self-preservation. I mean, I want people like Dana and Amanda involved in my care. Okay. I don't want people who do not know TIPA and don't know PAC involved in my care. I mean, I'm scared S-less, you know what I mean? I'm just like, no, now that I know, I want to have a voice and say, and I know Lynn is like, listen to us now while we can communicate, because this is what we want. And I know that you all already know this, but this is so huge. And if everyone took that mindset of, hey, on the off chance that you get some type of dementia, don't you want to have a say in your care and how that is carried out? You know, don't you want to know how that's going to be now? Or do you think it's, you know, ignorance is bliss? Because I can tell you right now, it's not. So anyway, that's my thing. So I'll shut up now.
Dana and I Dana and I both say, you know, we're in this because we want to train everyone and bring everyone on board to take care of us in case it happens to us.
There you go.
Because I will be the one telling you that's not how you do hand under hand. Do you think that feels like normal motion to me?
I'm going to move to Indiana and I'm going to talk to Dana and Amanda, and I'm just going to say na 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 to everyone else. That's how it's going to be.
Deal.
Forrest will have to listen to you too. So yeah, my husband.
Such a perfect segue, Joanna, because I know Shelly has some slides that she wants to share about upcoming events. So if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook and you're like, well, how do I get involved with this whole positive approach to care things? Shelly's going to share some upcoming events. And then Dana and Amanda, I'm going to ask you after that, what advice do you have for that person out there who is unaware about PAC? So what do we have coming up? Oh, SUP happens.
So SUP was today, right? And so I decided to put what's coming up over the next week. All right. So tomorrow is Dementia Problem Solving with PAC on Facebook, I believe, at 7 to 8:30 Eastern Time. And then Friday, like every Friday, is one of our champion days. And I think you'll see Joanna and Lynn maybe at Champion Day on Friday from 2 to 4 Eastern Time. And then for our certified community folks who are on tonight, we're having a special celebration on the 25th for our new certified folks. So come and join us for that. And then our next enhanced trainer or coach training is happening starting on October 26th and 27th. And of course, all gems can shine at the conference, November 14th through the 16th. So, and those are some links, and I put some prices there. So if there's no price, that means it's free. And we also have some free events happening that I didn't put on here, but you can check out teepasnow.com events and find all that's happening for us and for you.
Thank you, Shelly. So there's a wide variety of people who are ready to just kind of put that little pinky toe in the water, and then folks that are like ready to, oh, I drank the Kool-Aid and I'm ready to dive in. So Dana and Amanda, what advice do you have for folks who are, oh, I'm thinking about taking the next step with PAC?
You won't regret it. That's
Never.
my advice. You will not regret it.
Well, and I would say too, that if you're wondering like, hey, I know a lot about dementia and what that's like for the brain, and I don't know if I will get anything out of this, you will. You definitely will. I went into this after having worked in dementia for a while, and I learned so much, not just about the brain, but about how to teach effectively. And it was incredibly valuable to us. Clearly, we're still championing that. But more than that, the relationships that I have made inside of PAC have been extremely valuable to me. Even the people who are supposed to be experts, will ask me questions, and everyone learns from everyone. And it is the first place I've ever learned that I didn't feel like I had to hide what I didn't know, right? It's okay to not know.
Yeah.
PAC gives you a place to really explore things and figure out why they're going to work for you.
Yes. And I also say that PAC becomes your family. Even when you have some things that are happening in your personal life, PAC totally becomes your family. So, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all saying that, because you've been around PAC for a while and you have experienced that. And we always say, we want you to be as involved as you want to be. And you guys have done that. And we love seeing your faces around and just getting to walk alongside of you in this journey that you're on in Indiana. And it's been fun to be a part of that. So thank you for coming on Straight Up Positive. Thank you for sharing your story. I told you it would be the fastest hour of your life, and it was. We could stay on for 5 more. But thank you for being here, and we'll be back again on November 2nd for another episode where we're going to shine a light on another certified community member, Effie Warden. So to be continued on that. In the meantime, stay positive, everybody.
Thanks, guys.